One of the fastest growing areas in our country is women-owned businesses. And so I'm looking around this room and I see so many of the women here who have their own businesses and and it's growing at, women-owned businesses are growing at 1.5 times the national average. But what's even more fascinating about this is that women of color in 1997 only had about 900,000 businesses in the United States. It's almost 3 million today.
What makes you think? And if you are, now I remember my mother having a terrible experience on her job when I was growing up. And so I actually went to college with the sole purpose of not being in that situation. So I've been an entrepreneur, self-employed now since 1997. Is that like cool or what?
For 2 years, I did that job, and as a part of that job, it meant washing dishes sometimes. Can you believe that? Someone who has a college degree, I would have to wash the dishes. But guess what? I knew my ultimate goal. All of you guys have goals, right? And even if it means you have to do the dishes sometimes, even if it means you have to learn to read when you don't want to learn to read, you do what you have to do to get to where you want to be.
I want you to remember that God is real. When we are struggling, we must always remember that the Bible says that God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So when you're going through that struggle, remember that He is there with you, even though you may not feel Him, it may not feel like it, you may not see Him, but remember that He is there with you. Remember to keep God the center of your life. When you keep God the center of your life, you always have something to fall back to.
Well, my book addresses issues that face Black women. So it is not exclusive to other women or other races because the principles in the book are universal. Forgiveness, embracing your own beauty, never quitting, cherishing your femininity. All women can identify with those things. Forgiveness is something that if you don't learn how to do it, it's equivalent to having a cage, having the keys to a cage, unlocking the cage, putting yourself in the cage, and discarding the key. Unforgiveness is arresting and keeping your own self arrested. You're not keeping the other person hostage. You're only incarcerating yourself. So when you learn to forgive, you come out the cage, you throw away that key, and you become unstoppable.
When you encounter those bullies, those people who lie, cheat, and mistreat you, you're going to fight back. You're going to treat them the way they treated you. But is that what Jesus would do? No. He would tell us to show kindness. It doesn't mean we have to be walked all over. It means we put on our steel-tip shoes and we just kind of kick about in the muck and we walk forward with confidence, knowing that we are His princesses and nothing can happen to us that He does not allow into our lives. So here is your pearl of wisdom. Life is hard, but your heart does not have to be.
I want to tell you to stay faithful. Stay faithful. Remain steadfast and unmovable. When you find that thing in life that you are called to do, when you find your God assignment and you're on that road, you're on that pathway to achieve that, you gotta stay steadfast. You gotta stay faithful because you will be distracted. There will be things that will try to pull you off of that pathway. But I want to tell you this afternoon, stay faithful. Stay faithful. Be steadfast. Act like you have blinders on and no matter what's going on around you, you march forward with your head up even if you still have to struggle and even if you have tears coming down your eyes, keep moving forward.
And I thought this was going to be my last year doing it. So how am I going to say no and stop doing it? Now I have so many good friends in it. I have so many good people that I've met and I'm still meeting more.